and welcome to North 100, a Canadian Highlander podcast. My name is Serge. Today I've got a Nelly.
Hey, I'm here.
A Wheeler.
Hello.
And thank you to James for running tech.
Wahoo.
I don't know why that got me. A reminder that North 100 is brought to you by you with your support of the Patreon over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. I don't remember if this show has other sponsors compared to other stuff.
You mean cardkingdom.com?
/loadingreadyrun.
That's right.
The affiliate code that lets them know that if there's any Lorwyn singles that they want to pick up, they can use that affiliate code to let them know that we sent them.
That's right.
I think that's what he meant.
Yeah. And that they also have buttons. If you say Loading Ready Run sent me, button please, you can get a really cool little bunny button. No bunny buttons. Button that's either funny, cute, or haha.
That's right.
That's what you meant?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's very convenient.
Maybe we make a button, though, that's just like apostrophe, period, apostrophe. Watch out. That one might be coming down the pipe.
Yeah. Welcome to part one of our Lorwyn Eclipsed set review. Reminder that our set reviews are not exhaustive. We do not talk about every single card, only the ones that we think are relevant to the format or that we think will be like, why didn't you talk about this card? We also included a sprinkling of hand-selected artisanal commander cards, so they're in there as well. Let's get right on into it, my friends.
Okay.
Please.
We're going to start with Adept Water Shaper. This is a 3-mana 3/4 Merfolk Cleric for 2 and a white. Other tapped creatures you control have indestructible. Wheeler.
So while this card isn't necessarily going to fall into the category that I'm about to explain, because this is Lorwyn, there's a heavy theme on typal cards, kindred strategies, all that jazz. So you may look at cards that are not good, that just so happen to have the creature type merfolk or fairy or goblin or elf, not Kithkin. Sorry, Nelson.
Yeah, kind of disappointing, actually.
Not tree folk.
There's a couple of Kithkin in here that are pretty good, but the Kithkin typal's not exactly.
It's okay. It's okay. They'll have done their job if there's a Kithkin standard deck. That's for reference. Wheeler's ribbing me here a little bit. I did play Kithkin in standard. I have never tried to play Kithkin in Canadian Highlander. But hey, maybe after. It's true. What? I've put some. Hey. Gold Meadow Knight is fine. Like, Gold Meadows. Oh, whatever. It's fine.
The point being that we're talking about a whole bunch of cards here, and if you're like, why are we talking about this? It's because there's a specific creature type on the card. Adept Water Shaper has one of those specific creature types. It's
Cleric.
Finally, clerics.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I do
honestly,
enjoy clerics.
Yeah. Clerics is kind of real.
Well, it's a merfolk. It's a merfolk that doesn't die to lightning bolt, that doesn't die to flage, that also protects your other creatures from dying to lightning bolt and flage. And most importantly, it has a single white pip. Merfolk, a deck that is near and dear to my heart in this format, is real, but also got very little from Modern Horizons 3. Right. And so, you got the Harbinger of the Seas, that's it. That's all you got. And so, it's kind of a tough sell to play that card in a world of Orcish Bowmasters and Flage and whatnot. But this set is looking to revitalize that. And cards like this certainly help, because it lets you expand your colors from just blue-green to Bant, which there are some good white merfolk before this set, but it's a little awkward to be like, I'm playing white for this one merfolk that's okay, and then swords and path. And having more cards like this makes your mana base just feel a lot more, a lot richer, a lot of more options available, including surveil lands and whatnot. The fact that you can attack with your lords, like you can play like a 1-drop merfolk, a lord, and then the Water Shaper, and then slam with your lord is kind of exciting.
Definitely changes your clock in a very positive way, right?
Yes, and Merfolk is typically a deck where you're on Moxen. Like your game plan is play triple Mox True Name or Mox True Name and Friends, and so getting this card out ahead of schedule is pretty easy to do. Outside of Merfolk, I'm not that
I
excited.
was literally about to ask, is this powerful enough? Because it's ancient 2 mana, right?
It's like the green-white little kids should take note. I don't know if it's really making the cut, but like these sort of Dolmen Gate effects, they don't actually typically help you win the game on paper. But this is kind of a cool Court of Calling target.
Like Llanowar Elf into this is scary, and is a pretty reliable way of making sure that you can cast a 4-drop. Like Llanowar Elf, this, and then a Roberoid or Questing Beast or whatever is a pretty scary curve. Yeah, but also you could replace Adept Watershaper with any 3-drop printed in the past 4 years, and that's still scary.
Right.
Yeah.
It might not keep your Llanowar elves alive as well, but it'll also just threaten to win you the game. That's what we expect from our 3-drops, right?
You got to get
do
a
that
lot
on its
from
own.
your cards.
It doesn't even protect itself, like notably,
Yes,
right? Other
yes.
tapped creatures.
Yep.
Speaking of 3-drops, next up we have Ajani Outland Chaperone. 3 mana Ajani Planeswalker with 3 loyalty for 1 white, plus 1 ability. Make a 1/1 green and white Kithkin creature. -2, 4 damage to target tapped creature. And -8. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is your life total. You may put any number of non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from amongst them onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. Nelly, start us off.
Finally, a Johnny gets a playable card. Congrats. Sorry, I just...
Caller the Pride was playable.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I liked a Johnny Goldmane as well back in the original deck.
Was Caller the Pride the one that gave +1/+1 counters and like jumped your creatures?
The flying double strike.
The flying double strike one. That one was a house for a while.
Back
in Foundations.
Yeah, you can get it for like 75 cents or something.
Oh.
Anyways, I just wanted to make that joke because it feels like every time I sit down to play Canadian Highlander, I have to deal with a 1/2 and a 2/1. This one's a bit more merciful across the table. For 3 mana, they only get a 1/1. The problem is they keep getting a 1/1 every turn, and the loyalty goes up. Second mode obviously gets to kill one of their creatures, so you can pretty much guarantee getting some value out of this 3-drop Planeswalker.
It's only a tap creature, though, which is a pretty huge downside.
Sure. Yeah, I think...
Especially if you play it as an answer, like if they go Ocelot Pride and you play this and they haven't attacked with it yet, you're like, oh.
I think you don't need to overthink it too much because it's only 3 mana. Like the White X tokens decks probably want to give this a shot.
Yeah.
I don't really see the -8 happening too much in our format. It's just like you play this thing and either you played it because you don't have anything better, because it's just not that fast at 3, but you want to include it in your deck because of the flexibility and power. So you just start cranking out tokens and hope that wins you the game. Or it's just this removal spell that leaves behind a Planeswalker. You know?
I could see this -2 lining up reasonably well when you're on the draw, which is kind of nice for Planeswalkers like this. Obviously, if they play a 3-drop like I don't know, that Merfolk we just talked about, you can't deal with it. But like thinking about some of the play patterns of the more aggressive decks, or the situations where you want to play a Johnny and tick it down, just being able to like kill an Emperor of Bones, even if they have the mana to adapt, or to kill like a Lelia that is attacked, a skeleton from Gut, like whatever, right? Like there are like legitimate cards that are annoying as hell that you can get rid of with this -2. And that's cool. It's not going to do everything, but like Nelson said, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Just play it and make tokens.
You know, like if you didn't die because they had an early broadside bombardiers, and it's like, well, that thing is kind of hard to kill inside combat, but you know.
It's also just like it's really easy to undervalue these 3 mana walkers that if you get them out against like a more controlling archetype, they like you're fine. Like you just play this and start ticking up against like a control deck, and you know, if you gotta obviously get it on the board, but like it's not the easiest thing in the world to answer.
I'm lower on this than you two are, but that's fascinating.
I mean, it's just unplayable, or where's your head at, Serge? Yeah, sorry.
I just think in a world of Okos and Ren and 6s, like I expect more out of my Planeswalkers. Maybe I'm just annoyed at how completely irrelevant the creature type is from the +1. Like if that said cat, I would be like slam dunk on something like that.
Take it easy, pal. It's the Lorwyn Eclipsed.
I mean, the raid is pretty good, and like white cards always look worse than they actually are. That's kind of the whole. That's like the backbone
right.
of white.
Sure.
Right.
You're like, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
need to deal. It's like, wait, I'm dead.
Sure,
Yeah,
a free 1/1 every turn is not that big a deal
Why
until
do-
they also have Mother of Runes.
Why do I care about this Soul Warden? The weird energy Soul Warden.
Sure.
It'll
All
never
right,
see
all right.
play.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. That's fair. Next up, we have the Kinskier. How do you pronounce that?
Kithkin.
Kithkin Sentry. This is a 2-mana 2/2 Kithkin Soldier for 1 and a white. It has first strike and lifelink.
Nice. Finally, they reprinted this with only 1 and a white pip. Excellent card.
Whenever this creature attacks, you may put a creature card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, where X is the number of attacking creatures you control. Wheeler.
Yeah, so this card rules.
It's so cool.
It's like, I love that even if you don't have something to put into play, it's just a very reasonable dumbass. Like, first strike, lifelinker for 2 mana. Yeah, Nelson's popping
I
off
was
over,
done. Yeah, I was
over
like,
Knight of the Meadowgreen.
Yeah, Knight of Meadowgreen,
Which-
white.
I've
Which
never
is
heard
just-
of that card before, actually.
Oh,
Get
that-
out of my sight.
Yeah, come on, man. Like that card was like in White Weenie and Death and Taxes.
Can I admit something? I never actually played during original Lorwyn.
Okay.
I came back after it was here, and there's all this nostalgia of players that were there. But like, I'm of course aware of the set, but I didn't play the limited format or standard or lane constructed when it was there. Only like
Lucky you. It wasn't very good.
So I mean, it's neat when you're like, I can't believe I haven't heard of this card. It's just like, despite my big boomer energy.
Well, this was a card that saw Canlander
Yeah,
play. Like
really?
What were they
extensive
saying?
Canlander
Knight of
play.
Meadowgreen was in Death and Taxes until about
we
the time
bring
of like Adeline, like
Can we bring
until
it up,
10
James?
years
Sorry,
ago.
Knight of
Meadowgreen. No,
Knight of Meadowgreen.
It's just white for Kithkin Knight 2/2 first strike lifelink.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Just like
There's
a
no-
French-
Oh, it doesn't have the rest of the text.
Doesn't
No,
have this
no.
other ability that
Yeah.
the soldier has.
That's
yeah.
why
just like-
we're.
I was like, man, that's so cracked.
Yeah, no, that's why we're popping.
Oh yeah, I know this. I know this, homie.
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
of course I know
This
this,
is from
homie.
Lorwyn.
Dog, I've killed you in the finals with.
Yeah,
this
yeah, 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 yeah. No. I've died to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
wow.
great at wearing jitte.
Yeah.
From back in the days when
Oh,
everybody
look
did
at
that
Look
all
at
the
that
time.
llama. Okay. No, the new one's way cooler.
I believe that's a goat.
That's a goat for sure.
What?
Now we're going to Lorwyn explain you.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this
This is sick.
2 mana
Yeah.
2/2 first strike lifelinker
Yeah.
is not that bad of a card to play.
Still relevant today, honestly.
Oh my God,
but
yeah.
pushed out because of the added utility that you get with creatures nowadays.
Also, why are they printing first strike creatures again? We
I don't
just
know.
had this
I thought we
chat-
stopped
Yeah.
this.
We just had this chat like
Yeah, it
last
was
year
only- it
about
was
how they
ol-
don't print first
It
strike
was
anymore.
only first strike on attacking or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, the defensive first strike is kind
Yeah,
of.
keep going.
It's fine. I think I have an answer, but we can save it. For
Yeah,
off
yeah.
camera.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the kind of card that you want to have, but you don't want to take up a slot. The fact that this does something else, and that thing is cheat on mana, as well as just like the timing of it and pushing damage, like sneaking out, a Flicker Wisp, or sneaking out a Lorwyn of the Third Path, a Brutal Cathar, a Skyclave Apparition, right? Or just 2-drops, like putting in
Bowmaster.
yeah, putting in Bowmasters. You don't have. I'm evaluating this as mono white, but like once you start adding other colors, right? Like, cheating out a Rockavon is even pretty good. Cheating out,
Forget the dash cost.
yeah, and like it seems a little. It doesn't seem respectful to the intelligence of our listener, but cheating on the mana of casting the card means that you have available mana to then use removal. Right? So you can like attack, put out your Ragavan, and then you have your open mana to like, depending on how they block or if they have a flash blocker or what they do, to remove any obstacle or like prevent countermeasures. So like it's just, and it doesn't go back to your hand.
No,
like it doesn't
that's-
go back to your hand.
Yeah, it's
it does.
cracked.
It doesn't stack it.
It doesn't count as casting either. So
Yeah.
they don't get to play counter magic to deal with it either. They have to stifle it or just deal with it.
To be clear to everybody, like when we see this ability normally, it just makes a token, and there's no flexibility about what that token is. And it's usually like a 1/1 or something when you see an ability that's worded like this.
Right.
And this one instead is like, hey, I'm also an ether file. Like,
Yes.
it's pretty messed up.
Yeah, it's like the floor of this card is actually totally reasonable. The highest of highs is obviously just game winning. I love that it's a single white pip. I mean, I
Yeah.
hate it. I preferred Magic when costs mattered.
Right.
But
Where are you playing this? Is this a D&T card? Is this an any white aggro card? Like, where do you think this is going to find a home?
I'm going to be trying this out in mono white. I think that there is certainly a spot to try this in the white X tokens strategies that have been pretty powerful. And then my sneaky haha hee hee hoo hoo is I want to play this in Soldiers. Soldiers has received quite a few good cards from here. It constantly gets new cards, and that's my like pet bad typo strategy that I keep kind of looking at. And
That's
this card's perfect.
That's elemental to me.
Right. If you have Mardu good stuff or Mardu initiative, I think you could also consider this in there.
Yeah.
That deck likes 2-drops that are kind of cracked.
It's just a single white pip, man.
Yep.
You can play this off your mocks. Like, that's fine. Yeah.
All right, next up, we have Personify. This is a 2-mana instant for 1 and a white. Exile target creature you control. Then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Create a 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. Nelly.
Really interesting little ephemerate here that comes with another body. Now, the card itself doesn't have like a kindred card type, but you get to make a shapeshifter token. So if you're in a kindred strategy that's maybe looking to flicker your value effects, or you're just playing some elemental invocations along with, the rest of your soldiers or merfolk or whatever it is, you get another one of the bodies that matter, and you get to save your creature / rebuy your solitude / fake chump block, all of the things you can do with a cloud shift. The 1 more mana is going to be a deal breaker for some decks, but the decks that are both interested in playing a cloud shift and either trying to go wide or, as we said earlier, get value out of kindred will be happy to pay that. On rate, 1 mana for the 1/1 and 1 mana for the cloud shift is totally fine. That said, I'm not a huge kindred enjoyer. I don't have a deck I'm immediately looking to go unsleeve an ephemerate from and put this in. But it's kind of a neat one. It'll come up in some decks.
It does feel like you look at this and you're like, I'm not going to play it. It's 2 mana. And then you'll run into situations where it just wins the game. Right?
Sure,
like
yeah.
It's the straw breaking the camel's back with like a solitude, or even just like they attack into you and they're like, well, they probably have philia. And then you do this and you're like, oh,
right.
Never mind.
Yeah. 2 bodies.
Yeah.
I expected 1 body.
Yeah. The 2 bodies really, when this card works, like against an Alpha Strike, it really works. Like, untap your flying creature so it can block. 1 more blocker. Now the math is completely wrong.
I played Bant Blink for Showdown around like when Avatar came out.
Yes.
And that deck was messed up. Like and I don't think my build didn't even have Ice Fang Coatl. Like, I forgot to include it. So like that was kind of ramshackled together, but that deck felt like smooth as butter.
You kind of bodied me. Like, if I that match goes a little differently if I can kill your solitude.
And that's you're thinking of a different time that I
right. You've been blinking the heck out of me on Showdown.
Blinking solitude.
No spoilers.
What I'm saying is that blinking decks
solitude
that can
in particular,
repeatedly blink cards like Solitude are pretty damn good.
It's worth noting too, like, we've seen a bunch of 2-mana blink effects, but not a 2-mana blink effect that brings a creature.
Yes.
Like, this is unique.
And this sounds like I'm just like Magical Christmas Land, but the play pattern of like, you passed the turn. Okay, well, I'm going to personify my Eternal Witness, return this, personify my Eternal Witness. It's like 2 mana, make a 1/1.
Right. It's a little bit like Sprout Swarm. It's kind of like Sprout Swarm.
Yeah. Like that's real.
That's
deal.
that's worth noting, actually.
Yeah.
And then you've got that stupid Energy Soul Warden in play.
What? Nobody'd play that.
Nobody'd play that.
Next up, Reese, the Evermore. 2 mana, 2/2 legendary elf warrior for 1 and a white. It has flash. When Reese enters, another target creature you control gains persist until end of turn. Persist means when it dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a -1/-1 counter on it. Then activated ability, white and tap. Remove any number of counters from target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Wheeler.
Okay, so I haven't actually like mapped out any kind of combo applications with this,
But you can tell they're there.
I looked at it and like, there's a one part of my brain that just goes when like
The Viscera Seer part, like it's like hunched over the fire.
warning, card combos with Safi Eric's daughter,
Yeah.
relevant to interests.
Yeah.
So you can loop this.
Yes, yeah, there are some ways to loop this card, which it being exactly 2 mana, very relevant for this deck because it, returning it with Extraction Specialist, Renegade Rallier, that kind of effect is huge for that kind of combo. It being legendary is huge, not just because obviously this is not the worst thing in the world to get Caracas.
Yeah.
Sure.
But that's a combo deck that I love to play Time of Need in.
Okay.
Which is just 2 mana sorcery, find a legendary creature, put it into your hand.
Sure.
And can now find every different piece of the pie, basically. Right. The fair application of this card, I also don't hate. I could see myself playing this in Ruin Your Evening, or a very annoying version of Mono White Death and Taxes, or White Black.
If you're building Mono White Death and Taxes for a brand new player out of their pre-release, and they have one of these, you could just include it. It's a fine Death and Taxes
there's
sort of
this,
creature.
and there's the new Spider-Man as well, the white 3/2 with Flash that can also come in and sacrifice itself to protect your board, right?
Yeah.
It just does another interesting job of sort of gunking your opponent's removal spell.
Yeah, notably, there are a lot of very good creatures that you want to save that will just die from the -1/-1 counter.
Sure.
Some of them you'll get the ETB, and you're okay with it. But this isn't saving Ocelot Pride or Thalia Guardian of Thraben or whatnot. It's a cool card that I imagine I will try out, stop playing, put it back in my deck, stop playing. It's a card that really embodies the okay, I have some flex slots. I have some utility. What do I want to use this for? Which is kind of neat. Yeah. There's a lot to think about this card. Let me put it that way.
It's fun but not cracked.
Those of you in the comments brewing your Earthbending Dark Depths deck, I see you.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of hot.
It's hot. It's probably not good, but it's kind of hilarious.
I looked at this and I was like, removing finality counters from Emperor Bones.
Sure, I love that too.
Right?
That's sweet. Yeah.
So it doesn't work for Dark Depths specifically because it's only creatures.
You got to Earthbend it first.
Earthbend the Dark Depths.
It's a 3-card combo.
Why you meant
I'm not saying it's good.
That's why you meant Earthbend.
But that deck sounds fun.
I mean,
right?
when I first saw this, my first thought was Baloth Prime.
Sure.
From the UE Commander deck, the 4-mana 10/10 with 6 stun counters.
Sure.
But, I mean, again, it's maybe a little too cute. All right, the last white card we're going to talk about today is the Wander Brine Trapper. 1 mana, 2/1 Merfolk Scout for a single white pip. 1 and tap it, and tap another untapped creature you control. Tap target creature an opponent controls.
So I have 2 of them. I think this is the best card in my pre-release sealed kit.
In a good way or kind of way?
Yeah, I didn't both, right? I have to play against you, and I still have nightmares from that Thunder Junction match where you just had the Bristlebutt Farmer. Anyways, sorry, that's all an aside. But it's a Savannah Lions with a pretty strong ability. They don't usually make tappers that are 1-drops. There's Giant Killer, right? And that one sees play in Canadian Highlander, even though tappers usually.
They have moved back to putting them at 1, but they usually have not saying this is just pay mana tap do thing.
Yeah.
But we've seen them with you have to discard a card.
Sure.
Or you have to pay 3 mana or 2
life
mana
or something. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so this is 1 white for a 2/1 Merfolk Scout with 1 generic and tap another untapped creature you control to tap target creature and opponent controls.
Tap.
Yes.
What a mouthful to say. Right?
Yes, yeah. The ability is complicated and clearly been workshopped into this point where they felt like it was safe to print. But I don't know if we have another Savannah Lions that's also a tapper. It's got 2 power.
No, yeah, the fact that this can attack very you can hit pretty hard is nice. I love talking about new white cards because it just gives me the opportunity to be so I bodied one of you in a North 100 because we did a showdown where I was on the mono white humans list and you were on the Grixis Reanimator mid-range deck.
Oh yeah,
and
that deck kind of
Giant Killer single-handedly won one of those games. It was I was in a position where how am I going to win? You furied me twice,
right?
And it's because of tapping down your opponent's creature, messed up ability.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? It's so good. And so when you get it on a card that is a card.
Yeah.
Right?
This is also
has no downside to
this
play.
This is also
right?
just a Ragavan or a Savannah Lions or whatever you want to call it, right?
Is this Ragavan?
It's not Ragavan.
I know what you mean, though.
It's a 2-power 1-drop.
Yeah, it's a warship scout.
Right.
Sure.
No, you lost me too.
From Avatar Jumpstart?
Oh, okay. Nice. I get it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if you're on the mono white humans version, maybe not this one, but like a lot of the mono white decks, and maybe like the token strategies too, should consider it. Like this card's pretty sweet.
You can find it with Break Glass, Gearhulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to blue, our single largest category, inexplicably.
Gold
Gold is close.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of blue cards.
It feels
cards.
good to talk about a lot of blue cards, and
Yeah.
it feels bad that a lot of these are just typo cards.
Yeah, also
Right.
bad news if you're a red enjoyer. Anyways, Champions of the Shoal. This is a 4-mana 4/6 Merfolk Soldier for 3 and a blue. As an additional cost to cast this spell, behold a Merfolk and exile it. Behold, you'll remember from Dragons of Tarkir, you either reveal a card in play or a card in your hand that shares a creature type. But this one also requires you to exile it. This is an interesting shout back to champion mechanic.
Just getting ahead of the comments, you mean Tarkir Dragonstorm?
What did I say?
You said Dragons of Tarkir,
Right.
which is 10 years old.
Yeah.
Continue.
I didn't mean the new, Tarkir Dragonstorm, pardon me. Whenever this creature enters or becomes tapped, tap up to one target creature and put a stun counter on it. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. Wheeler.
Okay, so this is a take on the champion mechanic. This is a better version of the champion mechanic. And this individual card, there's like a cycle of these. I think we're talking about everyone except for the red one because it's elementals.
Sure.
And
Womp womp.
we are elemental enjoyers here, but what we want elementals to do is disparate from what they want elementals to do. This card I love. Mostly because one of the issues with Merfolk's so weird of a deck because like your 2s and your 3s are really good, but your 1s and your 4s, like you don't have that like closer. You don't really have like a Palace Jailer or like a Solitude or like a bigger kind of card where you're like, hey, I'm annoying for 2 reasons. And this is that card, right? Like ETB tapping their thing, stunning it, and then having a 4/6 and then getting to do this over and over again. And not to mention, it's not on attacks, it's just tapped, which we just looked at another Merfolk that can tap your Champion of the Shoal. You know, there are vehicles that see play, Unlicensed Hearse, Smuggler's Copter, etc. And that's great. I've played, I think admittedly this was a couple years ago, but when I won with Merfolk, I think I had Tempest Caller, which is like a 4-mana 2/3 ETB tap their board.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I was going to say there is a similar effect as a finisher, but not as, not
but
as
like,
annoying.
and like that's very, that can win games, is tapping down their board. But also
Doesn't feel great to sleeve it up, right?
No, man,
Yeah.
it sucks.
Yeah.
This has twice as many stats as Tempest Caller,
Yes.
and also is just going to do a very similar thing. And I love that it's a single blue. I mean, I hate that it's a single blue, but I love that it's a single blue.
But wait,
I hear you.
if you do include your Tempest Caller still, you could exile it.
Maybe I'm playing both. Maybe
Untap,
maybe you're
please.
just playing both.
Worth noting, the Behold and Exile clause or cost is only on cast. So if you flicker this or you reanimate it, you just get
Aether
to
Vial.
Ether Vial it in. You
Yeah.
cheat it in anyway. You don't have to Behold a Merfolk.
Yeah, Merfolk is one of the few decks that's still on Aether Vial, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert.
Some D&T decks
Yeah.
still
Yes.
play
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Sorry. This is relevant, but a little. But Merfolk can kind of get around it because we're talking about cheating it, but also this is an additional cost, right? And so, but the returning the exiled card to your hand is a leave the battlefield trigger,
Right.
So as an additional cost, you exile the Merfolk, and then they counter the spell,
Oh, okay. So
and
that could be
then
a
the thing
problem.
is permanently exiled. So
Right.
you will 2-for-1 yourself. But you're a deck that also has Cavern of Souls, and
Sure,
like you
sure,
said,
sure.
Aether Vial. So just be a little heads up that like you need to have the other Merfolk to do it.
Yep.
And there
Yeah,
are
kind of awkward in some situations.
yes,
Yeah.
yep.
Interesting update to the champion ability.
Yes.
Interesting update.
Next up, Disruptor of Currents. This is a 5-mana 3/3 Merfolk Wizard for 3 blue. It has Flash. It has Convoke. Convoke meaning your creatures can help cast the spell. Each creature you tap while casting the spell costs 1 generic or 1 mana of that creature's color to reduce the cost. And when this creature enters, return up to 1 other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Nelly.
Convoke spells don't always have flash, but when they do, sometimes they become format staples. The two abilities together are really nice. It means you can use this ability inside combat. You can use it end of turn in order to fight through counter magic. And then also you can, you can maybe be setting up loops if you need to because of the bounce effect. But mostly, yeah, this is just a decent rate. You get a 3/3 for analyzing Convoke casting costs is a little weird. 5 is usually a lot more than we would consider for a utility creature, but you can kind of think of it as like being somewhere between a 2 and a 3 drop. That's okay. If you want, just imagine this card costs 2 mana. And come with me.
Yes, I'm there.
Imagine it costs 2 mana. Are you kind of just excited about this on rate? You get a Mana War, right? Oh, target non-land permanent either player controls. So whatever ability that was on first, you get to cast that spell, and you have a flash 3/3. It's pretty exciting. Now, it's not a 2 mana spell. Sometimes it's free.
Yeah.
It's bad with your Aether Vial.
Yeah, for sure. It's Flash with Convoke is great. Convoke still, requires a lot of, you got to play the game to find out how good it
bodies.
is. Yeah, and some deck building. But this is a pretty exciting little beater, little utility thing.
This is a card I actually don't hate paying at any cost.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, if I play this in Merfolk, which I will, I'll give it a shot at least. I'm less happy when I play it at 5, but still not the end of the world in a lot of spots, right? If I'm playing Wizards is my other terrible typo deck that I love.
Right.
Paying this for 5 in Wizards, probably not the happiest, but again, I can see spots where it happens, right? Sometimes you hard cast your subtlety or whatever. And this is more than subtlety, but sometimes it happens. But in the Bant Blink deck,
sure.
Right? This is just so annoying. And there's not I don't want to play Venser. It's been so long, but I want a Venser.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the fact that this is a Venser that I can also just kind of cheat out with the Convoke with all my stupid little Elvish Visionaries or whatever.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
Venser's a funny one because it's one of the few cards where you're like, oh, I gotta include this one legendary creature so I can bounce it myself.
Yes, yeah. Venser's a good case of Caracas actually working for you.
But this card obviously has the 2026 stats.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Next up, Flitter Wing Nuisance. 1 mana 2/2 fairy rogue for a single blue pip. Flying. This creature enters with a -1/-1 counter on it. 2 and a blue. Remove a counter from this creature whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker this turn. Or planeswalker is huge there. Draw a card. Wheeler.
This one's pretty interesting. It's I will give this a shot in Flying Men.
Shocking.
Just getting that out of the way.
Yeah.
Which is a deck that has moved away from some of the 1 mana 1/1 flyers. But this one obviously has some additional juice behind it. You can remove +1/+1 counters from this as well, and start drawing a bunch of cards, and being able to draw for multiple creatures is kind of exciting.
That's the part that's unreal, right? It scales based on your board.
Right. Yeah. So it's with 3 little 1/1s or tokens or whatever crap you got on your board, then you have this basically uncounterable. I'm going to draw 2 to 3 cards and increase my amount of damage by 1. That's pretty great.
One of the terrifying things about sitting across from Flying Men is the difference between when that deck has a curiosity and when it doesn't. Mm-hmm. That's one of the the go buttons for that deck.
Yeah.
And points to the Flitter Wing.
There's also a really fun. It needs a little setup, but there's kind of a fun combo with Prof's eidetic memory of repeatedly putting counters on this to then just pay it and draw a bunch of cards. And you're probably drawing a cantrip that you cantrip and then trigger the Profs and yada yada yada. Also want to give a shout out to Fairies. Fairies is a deck that exists and has won a tournament in the past year. Not at YJ, not locally, but it has taken down an event with 20 people or whatever. Mostly gets pushed aside for ninjas. But there are a bunch of new fairies in this set.
Yep. I wanted to maybe give this card a shout out to the Ninja's archetype too, because just bouncing it back with your ninjutsu ability is a way to reset the -1/-1.
There is a lot of overlap, and until we received some ninjas somewhere. But the point being, like, the ninjas deck did also have, like, well, I'm just going to play Spell Stutter Sprite.
Yeah.
I'm just going to play, like, Fairy Seer.
Yeah,
you know,
I guess it depends on whether or not you're including Fallen Shinobi in your list.
Yeah,
Right.
like there's some.
God, I love that dumb card.
There's some crossover. That's what I'm saying.
All right, next up we have the Glamour.
Glamour Gifter.
That's a Glamour. I thought Glamour had two M's.
It does.
It does.
Glamour Gifter is a 2-mana 1/4. 2-mana 1/2 fairy wizard for 1 and a blue. It has flash and flying, and when this creature enters, choose up to one other target creature. Until end of turn, that creature has base power and toughness 4/4, hence the 4 that I slipped with, and gains all creature types. Nelly.
Okay, I don't immediately have a thing to say about this one. It obviously can mess up combat and kill your opponent's creature, but you have to have another creature that's attacking or blocking to do that. That's the base plan here. And I don't know if this card has another use case, like if we're comboing or if we're just giving all creature types to one thing, and that's what we're really excited about. So I assume maybe Wheeler has like a deck that he wants to put it into attack.
Bolts.
I don't overthink it.
Okay,
It's
great.
just,
Okay.
This is a Spell Stutter Sprite. It's a 2-mana counterspell.
Yeah,
that maybe kills your opponent.
You
one
save
time,
your
right?
other thing. Maybe you turn a fairy token into a 4/4. You push for some damage. It is a fairy that has a reasonable mana cost that also does a thing and has flash.
Right. I guess it's like they play endurance. You're like, haha.
Yeah. Oh, you're trying to block it with a 3/4, you fool.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Don't overthink it. Do play it in your fairies deck.
Yeah. Next up, we have Glamour Might. This is a 3-mana 2/2 fairy rogue for 2 and a blue. It also has flash. It also has flying. And when this creature enters, choose one. Tap target creature or untap target creature. Wheeler.
It's a Pestermite, kinda. It can't tap your opponent's lands or untap your own cards, but what it can do is combo with Kiki Jiki and Splinter Twin, and also notably does so while being not immune, but at least it's not going to get picked off by like Orcish Bowmasters.
Yeah, 2/2 instead of a 2/1.
Yeah, which is like a legitimate concern for this kind of deck. Splinter Twin's another one of those things where I'm like, we used to cast Splinter Twin.
Yeah. Back in my day, the Pestermites had 1 toughness.
Like
but Kiki was a playable Magic card.
There was and it's not that. I mean, it's now that I'm saying it, it's like 7 years ago. But like there was a time in recent memory where like Grixis Splinter Twin Time Vault was like a legitimate.
Yeah, you had all the
concern.
Pestermites to untap your Time Vault.
Yeah,
right?
untap your Time Vault, and then like sometimes that deck would just be like, well, I'll attack you for 3. I'll play another Pestermite to untap this, take an extra turn. Well, I'll attack you for 5.
Yeah.
Lightning Bolt.
Right.
And you just can kill people.
Snapcaster Lightning Bolt. Yeah.
So any redundancy for your like Pestermite, Deceiver Exarch kind of family, so you can cut your Zealous Conscripts. Or you could still play it if you really want to, but like, yeah, just like having 3 of these is really scary.
Yeah.
You got to respect it.
Next up, Glen Alondra Guardian. This is a 3-mana 3/4 fairy wizard for 2 and a blue. Also has flash. Also has flying. This creature enters with a -1/-1 counter on it, and then 1 and a blue. Remove a counter from this creature. Counter target non-creature spell. Its controller draws a card. Nelly.
Ooh, this is an exciting one. A new member of the 2 and another colored mana wizard flash flying creatures idiot squad. Yeah, I'm horrified. I don't know if I'm as mad about this existing as I am about Oppo Agent and Hull Breacher, but this is a problem. Like, it gets to get bigger while it's negating you. You drawing a card isn't good enough. When they remove the counter to counter your non-creature spell, you spent mana on that spell. You kind of need that spell to resolve. And now their creature is bigger. Probably their creature also just came to play. Like, obviously you can flash this at end of turn and then have it up for 2 mana. But, 5 mana is also not unheard of. They suddenly have stopped your Planeswalker, and now they have another attacker next turn.
There's Angel has this Esper Flash deck that has it's terrifying to play against. That is also just being picked up by other players as well. That has placed in tournaments over the past year. And the scariest part about that deck is sorry, also context. I played that deck like on this Monday myself, and
just played it.
Yeah, I got smushed by Naya, which felt like that was going to happen. But like in the other matches, my opponents just like they just start playing worse, right? You have
They're
mana
trying to
open.
figure out the best line.
I gotta find this window.
You can't it's like, okay, if it's Hull Breacher, I can't do this. If it's Oppo, I can't do this. If it's Mind Sensor, I can't do this. Spell Queller can't do this. Ang can't do this.
Yeah.
And like the list goes on, and anything you add to that just like adds to this like memory overload.
Right.
They're just like
what I'm trying to play around.
What are you
currently.
trying to
Sure.
play around? And then you throw the like curveball nimble obstructionist. And they're like, people still play this card?
No, they played Tashana's, but still. Yeah, no, right?
Didn't even mention that. Right. I forgot one of the scariest options in the deck I literally just played. So that great example of like,
that's where we're at
in the mix.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
This is also if for the boomers out there, just so we didn't miss it, it's like this is a callback to Glenlander Archmage. Only this one's updated.
A format staple from 2015.
Honestly, that card has seen a lot of Canadian Highlander play.
So good, man.
Yeah,
Such a house.
But this one's different. It gets going sooner. It attacks harder.
It's not legendary. It has bigger stats.
Exactly.
It's cheaper.
It looks like it's from the 2020s.
When they played Archmage with one up, you lost.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah,
not
you're
going
like,
to resolve a relevant spell.
Because then you're like, well, I need two spells to get through, and then they untap and they have counter magic and Glenalandra up. You're like, I'm dead.
Glenalandra with the blue up is kind of like the Jace plus to leave it there. These are just more things that nobody listens to.
Oh yeah, and you're like, God, I'm so dead.
Sorry.
All right, next up, Loch Mare. This is a 2-mana 4/5 Horse Serpent for 1 and a blue. However, it enters with 3 -1/-1 counters. 1 and a blue and remove a counter. Draw a card. 2 and a blue, remove 2 counters from this creature. Tap target creature and put a stun counter on it or on Wheeler.
So Videlkin Shackle enjoyers may have seen this mono blue mid-range deck that I've been playing. And that deck is just hungry for more 2s. And this is a great 2 for that. Still dies to a lot of the same things, but like again, just being able to play this card on 2 and then hold mana up. And then they're like, oh, was it Hull Breacher? Is it Tashana's Tidebinder? Is it just good old-fashioned counter magic? Like they want
like, nope,
me
just
to
drawing
use...
a card.
Yeah, they want me to use my mana. I won't. And sometimes they can use their mana to play a threat. And I'm like, oh, well, then I'll just pay 3, stun your creature. And then now I've got like a 3/4. And then I'll untap, remove a counter, draw a card. I have a 4/5. It's paid for itself. It's locked down your thing. And now I'm going to be off to the races. One little thing about the removing a counter as well for these blue decks is that being able to just draw a card when you feel like it is really good when Quantum Riddler exists. Right. Because like it lets these blue decks not have to play the like I need 5 cards in my hand at all time or else I don't feel safe. It's like, no, you can actually just play like other decks now. Like you can just spend your spells, play your lands, play your mana out. And then, like, if you have Riddler or a card like this, you're like, oh, I'm just going to recoup. You want to play your land so that you can activate the first ability more, right? That you want to hit these cards. I don't know if I'm playing this beyond my weirdo mono blue list.
It's a little bit niche, right? Like, it's the use case is usually a lot of mana.
Yeah.
To get your value out of it.
Right. I'm just very excited that there's a deck that like, I'll play this with Psionic Blast in 2026 and kill Serge.
Hell yeah.
Let's be honest, you put this on the list because it's a horse.
It was a non-zero reason.
Yeah. I do want to give one shout out. There's probably going to be a better example somewhere during this podcast series, but this one's big enough that it does have me going, well, what if I dress down and then play it and not get the counters?
Yeah,
You know?
It's relevant because they're both blue, right?
Right, exactly. It's only a 4/5, but still, you paid 4 mana, you drew a card, you got a 4.
I want those other abilities.
Sure. Yeah, sometimes, but
I
nice
get you.
the dress down's in your deck, so it's like it's a line you can look for it sometimes. Sometimes food.
All right, next up, we have Stupid Sexy Oko is back. This time, they are the Liege of Lorwyn. Look at that
spreading
look at that
as much
spread.
as possible.
So 3 mana gets you a 3 loyalty Oko for 2 and a blue. It's got a +2 ability. Up to one target creature gains all creature types and has a +1 ability. Target creature gets -2, -0 until your next turn. But it has a transform ability. And so transforming double-faced cards are back on Lorwyn. And most of them have this ability, which is at the beginning of your first main phase, pay a cost if you do transform the card. So single green pip gets you Oko, Shadowmoor Scion. Oh my god.
That's okay. All right.
-1 ability. Mill 3 cards. You may put a permanent card from amongst those cards into your hand. -3. Create 2 3/3 green elk creature tokens. And -6. Choose a creature type. You get an emblem with creatures you control of the chosen type. Get +3/+3. Have vigilance and hexproof.
So, can we just take a moment and acknowledge that Oko doesn't look natural when standing up, right? He's got to be lying on something. He's got to be sitting. He's got to be lounging, relaxing.
You realize he's 5'6" when he stands.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he's a short king.
He is a short king.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Anyways, we need to talk about this card because of its past sins. Every time they print an Oko, we've got to talk about it a little bit.
I don't know if did you mention that it transforms back?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, right. I did not. Yeah. And you could also flip it back for single blue at your first main phase.
So you get to, if you want, you can keep going back and forth.
Yeah. So the one side plus the other side minus.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you've minused down to where you can't use it anymore, you can instead flip it to the blue side for a blue. This card doesn't do enough for us for it to be a real consideration in our format. We're talking about it because its name is Oko.
And it's 3 mana.
It's got great abs. It is a 3 mana planeswalker. Like, it is a planeswalker, but you got to jump through hoops that we don't usually.
This feels like a density planeswalker card, like you would play it if you're playing like Super Friends.
Yeah.
Not as good as it used to be, and I don't know how good it used to be.
If you got multiple time walk effects in your deck, though, so you can just get access to the green
there
side.
was a time where you could build like a
it.
planeswalker control style deck where like honestly it was ahead of the game because its points were like triple Mox Academy,
right?
And it was just looking to play planeswalkers and cast like a balance or whatever. You're probably on triple Mox balance.
Yeah, way back in the day, your Cascade Time Vault deck was a bit like that.
Oh yeah,
there was a bunch of planeswalkers in that deck. Yeah.
I didn't want to mention that because that might be too old, and I want this podcast to retain just a shred of credibility.
Fair enough.
But like 2019, 2020, right?
Sure.
Like this was something that was popping.
You're
up.
constant missing, and you're playing planeswalkers, and you're taking
being
a bunch of game
real
actions
annoying.
on your,
and then now you're just dying to Thoracle if they do it, or you're dying to Flash or Vault or Devoted Druid combo. Or
so in conclusion, sorry, Oko.
I don't have a good thing to say about this card. Unfortunately,
I'm not impressed, but also there are a lot of words on this card.
Yeah,
and
it
is a single blue pip.
The fact that you can't do the good side, like a whole turn has to come through before you get to transform it, really limits you.
-2 is not nothing. Like people have face down JVP, right? Like the Telepath Unbound, that can really lock you out of the game, just plussing and plussing. But that card also just lets you flash back your Ponder or your Tutor when you're ready to kill your opponent.
Yeah. No, I mean, and don't get us wrong. Like any planeswalker, if you just like stick this and then like you get to use it turn after turn, it'll win you the game eventually.
Yeah.
We see that.
It is still a Magic card printed in 2026.
Yeah.
That's mythic.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have the Omni Changeling. This is a 5-mana 0/0 shapeshifter for 3 blue. It has Changeling, so it's every creature type. It has Convoke, so it gets discounted more of the cards you had. But importantly, you may have this creature enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it has Changeling. Wheeler.
Notably, this might be a little bit of cheating, but if you convoke at least one creature, this makes it the first 4-mana clone. And
never. Whoa, kind of a big deal. You can't pot into it, unfortunately.
That is yes. Unfortunately, you cannot birthing pot into it.
All right,
It's wild that they printed a 4-mana clone.
Yeah, I'll take the L on that.
Convoke clone is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
5 mana is a little less interesting. Copying anything and then also being a changeling is kind of interesting. What it all amounts to, I don't know. It's less exciting than there's a card from Fallout called like Synth Infiltrator.
Yep.
Which is like an improvised clone.
Oh yeah. I actually like that card.
Yes, I like that
card's
card
really cool.
too.
It's also an artifact.
And it's also it plays differently, but like you think improvise is like, well, this is kind of Convoke, but also worse in a way. But it just ends up playing a lot better than I think Convoke on this card would play. Like I'm looking at this card, I'm like, I'm the kind of person this card should be for. Right? Like I like my stupid clones. I like being able to convoke it. I'm just not super enthused to play this. Clones are weird in Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
A lot of clones are typically used in like combo potential.
Yeah,
they're used in
and
pod decks to like
Yeah.
move up.
Sometimes
and
for
stuff like that.
redundancy in certain decks, but they've like you just don't run into what's it called, Phantasmal Image or like
Well, ever since they
Flesh
changed the
Duplicate.
legendary rule, it's just not as good anymore.
I mean,
Back on our old man tip.
yeah, I was all excited to like brag about the potential earlier in the blue set of the 2-mana Venser or whatever, but this thing at 2 mana, it's already just like battling with Flesh Duplicate.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you don't have to tap your creatures to get me into play. I do want to give a shout out to this weird thing's face. It looks like their opponent just cast Settle the Wreckage.
Huh? All right, next up, Silver Gill Mentor. 2-mana, 2/1 Merfolk Wizard for 1 and a blue. As an additional cost to cast this spell, behold a Merfolk or pay 2. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 white and blue Merfolk creature token. Go ahead, Wheeler.
I think this is Nelson.
Yeah, it's my turn, but it's okay.
Well,
you
made
can
an
talk
ooh
about it.
noise. You
You
made
did.
a
You're
noise.
excited.
It's a good
You seem so
two-drop.
excited.
It's
Yeah.
a good 2-drop for
Look,
Merfolk.
if Wheeler, pardon me, if Nelly made that noise, I'd give it to him too. All right.
I'll give you an intro. I'll set you up. When I came across this card first, I thought it was a reprint because it has so much in common with Silvergill Adept, right?
Yes.
That's the card I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Where again, you have to. Now, Silvergill Adept is from Lorwyn. The Behold mechanic wasn't there yet.
It
but
just
it's
said
pretty
reveal or
similar.
pay 2. Yeah.
Right. You can't have one in play. You have to have one in hand. And so it's kind of funny realizing that, like, you see all that, and then on this card, and it's like, oh, wait, is the Behold mechanic 20 years old or whatever? No. It's slightly different. It's better because you can just have a Merfolk in play. But again, if you don't, you can still cast this for 4 mana, and then instead of drawing a card, you get more Merfolks, which is pretty exciting when you have a Merfolk Lord.
Yeah, I just
Wheeler?
want to go like the Kumena's speaker into this, hit you for 2, into like Merfolk Sovereign,
Just say Lord
hit
of
you.
Atlantis or whatever.
Yeah, any lord. There's so many lords, and to do that in a deck that has Force of Will, Force of Negation, Daze, Mental Misstep, like it's hard to.
This is great
really
with like flair too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to really like get through to people that didn't play like in Merfolk's heyday and like Legacy.
Yeah.
The power of a typal deck that like grows with lords, plays like Pack Rat Magic, that has Force of Will.
Yeah.
And that can rely, like, they will always be able to pitch something to Force of Will, or Subtlety, or Force of Negation, or Daze, or Mental
Yeah. If you didn't play Legacy in like 2014, it might be hard to communicate that, like, when the Merfolk deck works, it's like nothing you do matters.
It just it feels helpless.
It beats you on like every front. Yeah.
He's like, how is their board bigger than me and they have counter magic? Like,
Yeah, they're drawing more cards.
That should be illegal. You're either one or the other, right?
They blew up all of my permanents and countered all my spells.
Yeah.
Like,
It's wild. And so just like getting more 2-drops getting more cards that are good. It sounds so silly to say, but like cards that are good, not just because they're synergistic, but because, you're paying 2 mana and you're getting a 2/1 and a 1/1 in a deck that is going to make them larger is pretty exciting.
also worth noting, especially from this set review, like this card can be kind of free if you're doing Convoke. Right?
Yes.
Like you pay 2 actual mana, you reveal a Merfolk in your hand, you get 2 bodies, then you tap them right away to cast another spell. Like pretty exciting stuff.
Next up, Sunderfolk. Sunderflock. This is a 9-mana 5/5 elemental for 7 blue. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest mana value amongst elementals that you control. It has flying And when this creature enters, if you cast it, return all non-elemental creatures to their owner's hand. Wheeler.
What?
Surge.
Surge. Yeah, no, I just want to ask. Yeah, you should talk about this one, but I want to ask if the art file for this card got yoinked from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh my god. All right, so some of us for a while have been trying to make elementals a thing.
Is some of us in the room right now?
Some of us might be in the room right now, and this is an interesting payload. One of the things I'm a little bit disappointed with the elementals in Lorwyn Eclipsed is a lot of them have when this enters if it was cast, which is a huge downside because one of the things that you really need to do on Evoke and on these other things is to try and cheat and get ahead because so many of the elementals are just so bad.
Yeah.
But if you are playing elementals, this seems like an incredible finisher. If you have, your Solitude in play already, this costs 5 less to cast. And just clear their whole board, reset stuff. I don't think you should play this card, but I want you to. I want you to.
It's really cool.
If you have an MH3 elemental and it costs 4 mana for a 5/5 flying that bounces their stuff,
Yeah.
You might be a redneck.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Here's the thing.
If it all comes together, you got a Risen Reef in play, your Risen Reef into a Fury or a Solitude because you're on 5-color elementals here.
Yeah.
You finish off with the Sunderfolk. Ooh.
No, but I just mean that like the deck that you're trying to put together
Sunderfolk.
plays a lot of elementals, obviously, and probably an Ephemerate too. Like these are some regular cards that you're going to see play. So it's just the use case isn't magical Christmas land; it's just regular Christmas land.
Sure.
You play a few games, you'll get that 4 mana 5/5, buddy.
Yeah. Next up, we have Sig. Wander Wine Wisdom. Ooh. This is a 2-mana 2/2 legendary merfolk wizard. Sig can't be blocked. Welcome back, buddy. Whenever this creature enters or transforms into Sig Wander Wine Wisdom, target creature gains. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, draw a card until end of turn. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay a white if you do transform Sig. And on the backside, we have the Wander Brine Shield. Can't be blocked. Whenever this creature transforms, target creature you control gains protection from each color until your next turn. And then at the beginning of your first main phase, you can flip it back. This is also a 2/2.
Wander Brine.
Wander Brine.
Last one was me. So now it's Wheeler.
Yeah. I think it should be Nelson.
Even making a big noise while he was talking didn't work.
Well, you called me out last time.
Serge is trying to make sure that I don't talk about cards at all.
I just wanted you to talk about the gigantic elemental. But
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Nelson
fair.
could talk about this Sig. My thoughts are probably
probably similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Officially,
Hey,
it's now Nelson.
All right, kids. If you liked the idea of that Oko that transforms every turn and you think that that's a cool mechanic, here's a playable card.
Yeah.
It's 1 and a blue for a dope 2/2 that can't be blocked. And also, when it comes down, another creature that's going to hit your opponent draws a card. That won't always work. But guess what? If you just want the 2/2 that can't be blocked, that's actually not that bad. Like the very, very bottom of this card of just like I played a 2/2, it can block, but it can't be blocked. Like,
Great.
that's actually not that's not outside of the realm of playable right there. I don't even know, like it's legendary, right? Usually I have to pay like 3 mana for a 2/2 unblockable. Then it does like 4 other things. So
Didn't the original Sig for blue-black hybrid, wasn't that also like a 2-mana 2/2 that couldn't be blocked?
Serge, I think you'll find the original Sig
Was it like a
actually,
1/3?
it was blue and a white and Lorwyn.
Blue and the white Lorwyn.
And that's like the card that Wheeler was talking about earlier, where like that's the card you played white for, because it gives your merfolk protection.
Right. But
Serge,
there was 2 Sigs. There's
Yes,
blue-white Sig
then
and blue-black Sig.
Shadowmoor,
Yeah,
blue-black Sig draws cards.
You're thinking about when the world of Lorwyn
Went through
the night
the great
time.
aurora, moved through.
Okay, so but those were both real cards.
Yes.
It's not a fever
Yes.
dream.
And they're both like good cards, actually. Blue Black Sig was a card that got
That's
played
a
a bunch in
bunch
our
of play.
format. And I don't know, McCube. Like, I'm not sure if Sig was in other formats too.
That card saw a little bit of Type 1 play.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think there was a version that card did see play.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to get into
Anyway,
it.
the blue-white one for sure saw
Yeah.
lots of play
Yeah.
in Merfolk decks. Okay, but this card, you can play it in Merfolk, but you don't have to. You can play it in any deck. So the things it does are hit your opponent, as well as just flip back and forth so that it draws a card every other turn while it's doing that. On the white side, on the back, it can keep hitting your opponent because it can target itself with the protection from the color of their blocker. So you just, you don't even need to do that because it can't be blocked on the back side too. I thought it lost that ability on the white side. I'm sorry. God, it's got everything.
It just lets you attack with something else.
Yeah, so you either get through with the second one, which is going to be the normal use case, or if you're on the back foot, you can still be getting in for 2 and stealing back the initiative because it can't be blocked while you hold up during their turn the protection from black creature to block their Barrogoyf or whatever, right? Like whatever it is, because your second creature
until your next turn.
Long. Yeah. So those are the two things it does on the backside where it pushes through damage like at a huge rate by getting this protection trigger. Or just gumming the board up and getting in for 2. And then on the other side, when you flip back into the blue, you get to draw a card with, possibly just this.
Can I just talk about...
possibly 2 creatures. Who knows? Maybe you have flyers.
So previously, a lot of the curiosity effects were only combat damage to a player. There's a couple of cards in this set recently that have been saying or Planeswalker. That is huge.
Yeah.
Because you used to have to make the decision, do I clear their Planeswalker or do I draw a card? Now you get both.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, I think you'll find Psychic Frog.
Right. Might have been the line in the sand on that one. Yeah. Since Psychic Frog, they've been doing that for us. Stupid Frog. What do you think about this card? Did I miss anything? I don't know.
Sorry. No, I really like this card. I do. Yeah. There are 2 things I want to comment on. One, Caracas. Caracas is obviously just a good Magic card for you to play, but also Merfolk's pretty good at dealing with Caracas. There are a couple of legends that see play in Merfolk, but the ones that do, if they get Caracas, you're mostly okay with it. Even if you're returning the Sig, you replay Sig, you just get to start drawing more cards. Or you're a deck that typically will have Wasteland, creatures that turn it into islands, like Harbinger, Tidal Warrior, Tide Shaper. Like that's a theme in Merfolk.
Right.
Is
here,
to
have
hell
an
with your
island so that my Lord of Atlantis can hit you for free, right?
Yeah. The second point, which is probably a larger point that I want to cover with Merfolk, is that it's not just that we're getting new cards that are good, new cards that have like a more modern design sensibilities, attributed to them, but it's that the mana costs are less loaded at blue,
right?
Which even if we weren't expanding into say like Bant Merfolk or blue-white Merfolk, even if we're just 2-color Merfolk, getting rid of some of these blue pips is huge because the mana has always been a little awkward. And like you just had to play some of these like blue or just blue 2s and 3s because that's what you had. Like you're like, well, I either play Tidebinder Mage or like this card that isn't a Merfolk that is better. And like then you're like, well, then why am I even playing?
Then what are my lords doing?
Right,
here,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So that is legitimately a huge improvement for Merfolk. We've seen this deck has the capacity to take down events, and now it's alleviating like the biggest problem. 2 of the biggest problems for that deck are being alleviated by this.
We talk about this for any emerging Kindred strategy is what does a deck need to get to the next level? And it's like density. Yeah. And especially density at lower costs, right?
Yeah, and sometimes these like creature types get good cards, but they don't solve the issue, right? It's like, hell yeah, another really playable 3-drop. It's like, okay, but what are you doing on 1?
Yeah.
Like, how are you casting Counterspell plus this? Right?
How are you staying in the game?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how are you keeping
your opponent
pace?
went Ocelot Pride. What do you do?
Can you imagine if Zombies got this card? Oh.
Yeah, Zombies is a great example.
Zombies would go so ham for this
Zombies
effect.
feels like a legitimate force if you and your opponent agreed not to do it on like turn 2.
Turn 2 specifically. You
can do something.
We can have turn 1, and then on turn 2, we have to both Mountain Cycle.
Zombies has great 1-drops, terrible 2-drops, and then the 3s are like, okay, now we're cooking.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the last card in blue. It's Thirst for Identity. 2 and a blue gets you an instant that says draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card. Wheeler.
Now we've already kind of established that we are all very boomer coded.
Yeah,
and so we love Thirst for Knowledge and all its variants.
Technically, we're millennials, but yes,
we're millennials. Well, I'm a millennial. Thirst for Knowledge, a card restricted in Vintage, right? Powerful card, saw a lot of Canlander play. Thirst for Discovery, which is draw 3, discard 2 unless you discard a basic, saw a lot of play in Blue Moon, as well as like just standard blue-white control. Brain Surge got printed and Stock Up got printed and kind of pushed those out of the way. But being able to discard a creature card is so dope. Like Reanimator strategies, if they're looking for more card drop, more ways to like play on your opponent's end step and set up their hand. Like draw 3, discard my threat. My other 2 cards are like my reanimation spell and my counter spell, or my hand attack and my reanimation, or the land I needed plus the spell is sick. Like this is so dope. It's very, I don't want to say very narrow, because like there are probably some other decks where you're like, yeah, I'll just pitch a creature. That's fine. Even some of the aforementioned like 2-color decks might be like, yeah, I'll just discard my, you're playing Blue Moon and you're like, I'll discard my Magus of the Moon because I have Blood Moon in play.
Right. Or it's a bad matchup or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm most excited for this in Reanimator.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. Welcome to Black. And starting off, we have Bitter Bloom Bearer. Black gets you a 1/1 Fairy Rogue with Flash, Flying, and at the beginning of your upkeep, lose a life and create a 1/1 blue and black fairy creature token with Flying. Nelly.
Came at such an interesting time in Magic where we kind of there's still a few people playing Bitter Blossom. Like Bitter Blossom does exist in Canadian Highlander. It's kind of controversial.
There was an interesting moment in time when the number of games you won with Bitter Blossom versus the number of games you lost your own Bitter Blossom kind of started swinging from one side of the pitch over to the other side.
Mm-hmm. That didn't dissuade those of us with true hearts. And for sure, Bitter Blossom still for only 2 mana. As long as you get it early enough in the game, generates it pound for pound. It makes 1/1 tokens better than the rest of the game.
Man.
Right? It's slow, but it just
sure does.
You only had to spend 2 mana.
Old Bitter Blossom enjoyers sure loved losing the games where they drew their Bitter Blossom and then winning the games where they didn't draw their Bitter Blossom, but attribute it to cards like Bitter Blossom. Like it's
it's true. I love losing my own Bitter Blossom.
yeah.
And I like winning with Bitter Blossom too. Losing with Bitter Blossom is more fun though.
Yes.
So now you have more ways to do that. Obviously this card's different. It's a creature spell with Flash.
Yep.
It costs 2 black pips. Just it being a creature at all is really different. So one of the things Bitter Blossom did was kind of give you this protection against Wrath of Gods, but like those like creature sweepers aren't very popular in our format right now. So being able to attack with your Bitter Blossom as well is basically just better. Having Flash is also better. Having 2 black pips is kind of a bummer, but this still deserves some investigation, I think, in your, Black X tokens deck.
We're saying fairies potentially.
Fairies, for sure, fairies.
I would try this in like fairies
Yeah.
in the Esper Flash deck. I could see this even in the Ninjas deck. Yeah, the black's a little tough, but I don't know. We got Surveil Lands, man. We can make it work.
If you're playing him to Turak, you can play Bitter Bloom Bearer.
I feel like there have been enough card selection, like in deck building, where you shave off double pipped cards that you can start to add a couple more.
Yeah, I mean, the kids at home are probably wondering if I would try this in Mono Black Aggro. Yeah, I would. It's been so long since I've actually played Mono Black Aggro that probably all of the threats are different now. So I'll have to find out how well possibly Old Bitter Blossom should get back into that deck. Depends what else the metagame looks like for that.
I will say, as somebody that has hated Bitter Blossom, like I always thought that card was garbage in Canlander.
Okay, sure. Just because it's too slow?
I just thought it was too slow. Sure. There are too many matchups where you're just like, oh, thank God they played Bitter Blossom, where they tapped out on 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
I just didn't. It did not feel like it was a card that I would associate with winning tournaments.
Right.
And
Savage.
But I've played with and against it recently, and I think it was the best card that I had. Like I played an Aristocrats deck, like a Mardu Aristocrats deck, and just like the games where I had Bitter Blossom, I was like, oh, I am not losing this.
Yeah,
right. Like
sure.
or the token strategies. Like typically the tokens decks that we've seen pop up care more about like your Adelines or your like raise the alarm kind of creatures. But it's not that weird for them to play Bitter Blossom, and maybe they play both. Like maybe we just see more respect given to these like longer, grindier cards.
I might be underselling the value of this card having Flash too. Like we don't know from any experience of getting to play Bitter Blossom with Flash, but maybe if on 2 you're just like, all right, I'm either swordsing your creature if it's too big a problem, or I'm playing Bitter Blossom. Like that might turn out to be extremely valuable.
Right. I have Underground Sea and a fetch land. What are you doing? Right? Like, or what is going through your head?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'll play a bait spell. And you're like, okay, that's fine. Bitter Blossom untap. Now I have 3 open mana.
Right.
And I have 2
And
flyers.
I have 2 flyers.
And I'll keep getting flyers. Like, that's very
It's also worth noting that this one's going to be a lot harder to lose with, unfortunately.
You can just kill it yourself.
Because you can just chump block with it. Like
you're not at 5 life and sweating to your own Bitter Blossom, right?
Don't expect to just sit on this card for the entire game as well. Like, if this makes...
They'll kill it. Yeah.
This hits them for, like, 1, makes a token or 2. That's great.
Yep.
That is great.
All right, next up, Dawn Hand Dissident. This is a 1-mana 1/2 elf warlock for a single black pip. Has an ability tap, Blight 1, and Surveil 1. We haven't talked about Blight yet. Blight is a new ability from Lorwyn Eclipsed, where Blight N means place N -1/-1 counters on a creature that you control. Their second ability is tap and Blight 2, exile target card from a graveyard. So you have to put 2 -1/-1 counters on the same creature that you control. And during your turn, you may cast creature spells from amongst cards you own exiled with this creature by removing 3 counters from among any creatures you control, in addition to paying its other costs. Wheeler.
This card does a lot. I don't know if I want to play this card.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... Blight 1 is like, damn, this is annoying, but I can do it. Blight 2, like, that's a lot, man. Like, that requires... And especially because Blight 2 is the setup on this card, often killing something, and the situations where you're likely, like, oh, I can Blight onto something. It has that kind of play pattern of Village Rites, right? Where you're like, I'm blocking with this, and then I'm going to Village Rites it.
Right.
Like blocking and then blighting onto that creature, the creature's going to die, and now you don't have 3 counters to remove from among creatures you control. A lot of stuff going on with this card, man. And maybe there are some interesting kind of applications. Like I've seen people talk about this card with Emperor of Bones.
Yeah.
And
it says counters. Doesn't say -1/-1 counters.
Yes, that's pretty important.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
You see all these abilities, and you're like, it's like a Death Rite. And
it's worth noting it's got as many words as Death Rite Shaman. And the
it's
same...
a 1-mana 1/2,
yeah,
right?
It's an elf, but
you think
this does not make mana.
2026, you don't need to work to make your cards good.
Right.
And, like, it's a 1-drop, so I'm willing to consider it. But, like... I don't know, man. Death Rite exists. Netherwife exists.
I'm just thinking about Canadian Highlander deck lists I've played this year and trying to imagine unsleeving any card to put this card in instead, and looking at the card I just unsleeved.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so
I don't know.
slow.
Which card are we talking about?
This does scream to me, this card's... So how do I want to word this? This is a card that they say you're going to put 4 of it in your deck in order to synergize with other copies of this card.
For sure.
Are there enough incidental just counters in our format right now that you just play it for its last ability and ignore the blighting as like a setup? Like that's...
No.
Yeah, that's sort of that's the angle that I'm trying to come from this as generously as possible.
I don't think so. And even if you're a deck that can build up this density, like I don't want to remove my counters. I want to kill you with my counters.
I mean, Hardened Scales Affinity probably needs more like investigation and workshopping in our format. People are trying it, but it's definitely still an archetype that's like getting molded.
Yeah, but this feels like an anti-synergy to that
so
sure, yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, what if we earthbend on Dark Depths?
No, there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's the thing. Here's what we're saying about Dawn Hand Dissident together, right? It's like you're jumping through a lot of hoops. It might work, but we don't recommend you start the journey.
It's a whole lot of words to lose to Flash combo.
Yeah.
Or goblins.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, speaking of goblins, we have Grub, Storied Matriarch. 3-mana, 2/1 legendary goblin warlock for 2 and a black. Grub has menace, and whenever this creature enters or transforms into this side of Grub, return up to 1 target goblin from your graveyard to your hand. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay red. If you do, transform Grub. And on the backside, Grub becomes Notorious Auntie.
No, Notorious.
Also a 2/1, also with Menace. Whenever Grub attacks, you may blight 1. If you do, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of the blighted creature, except it has, at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this token, and then for a black mana, you can transform back to the original Grub. Nelly.
So the floor on this card is a little too low to really consider it outside of goblins. Obviously, it is a goblin, and inside of goblins seems like a dope value engine with a lot of fun play patterns. I don't know if that's something goblins needs more of at 3, but like they're gonna try it, right?
I will.
It's fun. This is a fun card.
I think goblins is an archetype that people really just like look to the version that just goes, balls to the wall.
Yeah,
frankly.
just gets their prospector going as fast as possible.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You look and you're like, it's like, why? Wow, a lot of these winning goblins lists are just mono red. It's like, well, it's because there's a guy in Victoria that has been playing this for 15 years.
I will mention. So we're talking about Mac, aka the Goblin King, and he spent, I want to say, probably 2 months this year just experimenting on black,
Right.
And not even necessarily for the lieutenant, right? The one that gets to blood artist them when your goblins died,
Right.
But it was for an unassuming like common. A 2/1 for 1 and a black that if you control a swamp and you hit your opponent, they discard a card.
Oh, the slavering knows.
That's what he wanted to have work. It like never worked. It was really bad. He kept doing it. But the really funny thing as well, talking to Mac, he was talking earlier this year. I talked to him a lot about goblins this year, where he's like, okay, I took the deck completely apart. I tried to build it from scratch with 100 cards, and he just built the same deck each time of trying to make it different, of just like no memory, no deck list, built the same list mono red, right?
Well, that's what I'm getting at, is that like, not just that, the best players of archetypes and the most prolific players of archetypes are bound to build their deck a very specific way.
Yeah.
I would argue that they are the type of player that is most likely to build their deck in one way and to like maybe not deviate.
Sure.
And like if they deviate and don't win a tournament, like if their downgrade is like I didn't go 5-0, I went 4-1. Like they're gonna switch back despite the fact that like that's a great record. That's what you want to see, right? And so what I'm saying is that like I think there's more than one way to skin a goblin is what I'm trying to say. And this card fits into the God, not to sound like an old man, but remember when Josh Lane played goblins?
Whoa.
There was like a notable control player, combo player, like one of the best like Magic players in Victoria.
Well, it was sort of
Kind
he
of a
was sort of the
legend.
second like king of Highlander after the very early days of Mike Harrison going on a big tear of winning with mono green for weeks.
And so he built goblins and included a bunch of cards that Mac did not play.
Sure.
And had a bit of a slower kind of approach to it. This sounds silly, but like was on Goblin Bombardment. And people are like, Goblin Bombardment? Ha ha ha. Like, why would you need that?
Right.
Turns out the card's not okay.
So I do want to, this is making me think of my friend Jordan Dirksen, who looked at mono red a completely different way as well. Like some people play mono red, they go mountain bolt, mountain bolt, mountain bolt, mountain bolt. And he's like mountain pass, mountain pass, right? It's just, you can get to the same conclusion, which is winning, but in very different ways, and just how you math it out.
Yeah. So this has been the North 100. People from Victoria we know.
One thing, it's nice to shout out our friends, but two, it is fascinating to acknowledge those different mindsets.
These
and different
examples
approaches to the game,
can
right?
be applied to any play group, any collection of people. Yeah. Grub, I like Grub.
You like Grub?
I like
Okay,
Grub.
so Grub.
Remember Grub?
I don't think Grub is going to be a long-term player in the conversation in terms of competitive goblins. Like Wheeler already said, it's usually just mono red. Sometimes they splash for munitions expert or whatever. And this card is both like kind of slow and kind of expensive and black. Or it's got a lot of strikes going against it.
Yeah.
But the goblin players that are already on black are they're gonna try it.
My version
experiment
of
with it.
my version of goblins is Rakdos, and I saw this card. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah,
okay,
you'll make room
that's
for
cool.
this,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
It's sort of Caracas proof.
Yeah,
You know.
hell yeah.
Next up, Moon Shadow. This is a 1-mana 7/7 elemental for a single black pip. It has menace. It enters with 6 -1/-1 counters. Whenever one or more permanent cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere while this creature has a -1/-1 counter on it, remove a -1/-1 counter from it.
Okay, so
Wheeler.
for the record, I don't think this card's very good, but
Good with dress
You don't
down,
want
though.
another Death Shadow?
Yes, no, it's good with dress down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's very
That
clever.
cloak from MKM has been
the
consistently getting played
the
too.
cryptic coat. Yeah, that card's really
Or
good.
like the green mythic that manifests dread when it
You're just thinking about like all the classic Stifle Knot cards.
like, do you
right
want
now.
do you want to play in Invisible Mask
What?
or Illusory Mask in Canadian Highlander?
I
Like-
don't want to, but I have.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's like if you are building it, even though you don't want to, like here's another card for that deck.
It is worth acknowledging that we just mentioned a lot of good cards that we're already playing.
Yep.
And so it's not like we're playing a bad card to make those good cards like better. It's just we're saying like, okay, well, this card can occasionally do a stalactite stalker impression.
Yep.
Right? Like the 1 mana
turn it
one
gets
from
one bigger.
LCI that
Yep.
gets bigger and does some other stuff. It is nice that this isn't once per turn. And that you can discard cards and whatnot to get it going.
Sack
Which,
of fetch land,
yeah, I think you could do that with Descend. The point being that like this parallels a card that already exists that is like not bad, but definitely did not deliver. Like we all thought Stalactite Stalker was going to be like
It's still getting some play.
It sees play.
Right. We were maybe
But
all a little too hot on it, but
I mean,
we were right
think,
that it's playable.
I think everybody, right? Like legacy players were
Oh,
like,
I didn't know
4
that.
Delver,
Okay.
4 Stalactite Stalker.
I just remember sitting in this chair when it came out. And
But the fact that like this is a card that works well with your dress down, your Abhorrent Oculus, your Cryptic Coat, like cards that all see play and that tend to see play in like the blue-black deck or the blue-black X deck, make this a little more appealing. It's so funny that like at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, okay, wow, that's big. Anyways, Fatal Push. Or like Blood Chief's Thirst or whatever. Yeah, I think I got it when I said like I don't think this card's very good, but like I'm willing to die to it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm willing to be proven wrong. Like maybe I'm a dumbass, and this is actually just like 1 mana 3/3. Like the menace is relevant, right?
The menace is
Yes.
very
1 mana, like you
It's
fetch
also,
land.
It's also a
you
nightmare to
discard.
block, right? Like,
Yeah,
Sure, they
it's
might.
you always have a combat trick.
Yeah,
you just
the-
fetch land up or something.
The thing is,
right?
if you
I
have
don't
a fetch land up and a surveil land, like,
Yeah.
you got to get
Yeah.
lucky and hit
Right?
another
Yeah.
permanent. But if you have a fetch land up and you attack and they're thinking about double blocking, it's like, well, it might be too big or
It is also a nightmare to draw anytime other than like turn 4.
Sure,
Or sorry, anytime after turn 4.
Right. You don't want to draw it late.
Yep.
No, but I don't even think you want to draw it like mid game.
You don't
Well,
really
I mean,
want to play
again,
it
if
game
your
one or
Oculus
turn one
is in-
either.
yeah,
Yeah,
but-
It
unless
is
you have
pretty
other
specific.
cards.
Yeah.
Very, very weird card.
Weird card. Cool card though.
All right, next up we have Mud Button Curse Tosser. This is a 1 mana 2/1 Goblin Warlock for a single black pip. As an additional cost to cast the spell, behold a goblin or pay 2. This creature can't block. When this creature dies, destroy target creature an opponent controls with power 2 or less. Nelly.
Okay, we're going a little bit deeper into the multicolor goblins sauce here. If you're including this one, your mana base is extremely inclusive of black. That's okay though. That's allowed. You're allowed to build your goblin deck like that. Will you include this card in that deck? The thing is, 2 power 1-drops are important for us, and we love them, but I don't know that this card gets to see any play outside of goblins. Like I know it's a 2/1 for 1 that can't block. Normally I would be all over it, but it's secretly not 1 mana because you have to behold a goblin or pay 2, and mono black aggro can't reliably do that yet. I love this triggered ability for when it dies. You get a little fatal push, right? A power 2 or less. Okay, so not mana value 2 or less. That would be nicer, but power 2 or less still relevant.
It feels weird that this card is like not a slam dunk,
Yeah.
But I have the similar hesitation.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say Goblins doesn't work like other aggro decks. It is a deck that attacks with creatures, but it cares a lot less about each creature's stats. It cares more about having the important pieces to get its like ridiculous attack turns going. That said, I don't know. Like, it's possible this gets in over one of the other weird role players they have. You know, like, do you need your third copy of Sacrifice a Goblin to give something +1/+1 in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're right. You do.
I just
you want to sack this to that card, right, to get the clear blocker.
It doesn't feel exciting if you're on the go wide, make as many goblins as possible. It doesn't feel exciting if you're on the like Snoop combo, like, and doesn't feel exciting if you're trying to sling gang, like grub them into the dirt. You know.
Sorry, button curse tosser.
If you're none of those, which are you? Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Great.
Like those are the 3 modes that this deck takes.
All right, we all got there together.
Yeah.
Sorry, curse tosser.
Next up, we have the Requiting Hex. This is a instant for single black. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may blight 1. Destroy target creature with mana value 2 or less. If the additional cost was paid, gain 2 life. Wheeler.
Okay, I love this card, but I also really hate Psychic Frog. Like, just getting it out of the way. I love this card, but please note, I despise Psychic Frog. I also have, I have a bit of a bit of beef with every Modern Horizons creature that costs 2 or less, and this kills them all.
Sure. Emperor of Bones, Ocelot, Pride.
Yeah,
Johnny,
Ophelia, Johnny.
Yeah.
Instant speed is huge. I was a big supporter of Blood Chief's Thirst in some of these blue-black decks. Less so in 3-color blue-black decks, but in 2-color, I'm like, dog, you just need something.
Before Ren and 6 had the point on it, it was like, you got to play this one.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you got to get rid of these cards. But that's a sorcery speed card that even though it has a way to like pay into it and kill something bigger, that felt terrible when you did it.
Paying 4 mana for Blood Chiefs felt terrible.
It feels terrible.
Still feels terrible
sorcery
today.
speed, not good, not good. No. Instant speed, 1 mana, to hell with whatever you're doing. Love it. I don't care that it can't hit planeswalkers. I don't care that it's not killing 3-drops. That's fine. I'm just going to kill your 2-drop. Am I going to die to your Oculus because I have this in hand? Yeah. But am I going to die to your stupid Fairy Mastermind or your Emperor of Bones?
Not
no.
anymore.
And this plays into the blight on this. I don't know how often I'm going to use it, but it does play into what I mentioned with the Dawnhand Dissident of like, I'm going to chump block one thing, and then I'm going to blight onto it and kill your other unblocked attacker. Yeah, so that attacker dies, then I'm going to gain 2, and I'm not going to take damage from your creature that I chump blocked. Like, that's a play pattern that is not great, but like when you're just like, I just need to get to Barrow Goyf. I just need to get to Barrow Goyf.
Yeah. Worth noting too, like, I don't know if you two have been in this situation much this past year, but I've noticed sometimes your problem is you can't get one of your creatures with Skull Clamp on it to die, and so like this is the first blight spell I think we've looked at that's like, this is really playable. So
sure,
there's one more situation like the chump blocking.
I also, can we just take a second to appreciate the as an additional cost, which is like mandatory. It then says you may. You're like, hold on, wait, what? Yeah, right. Like an optional additional is just such a funny template.
It's giving a little bit of if the gift was promised. Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to the Taster of Wares. 3 mana, 3/2 Goblin Warlock for 2 and a black. When this creature enters, target opponent reveals X cards from their hand, where X is the number of goblins that you control. Choose one of those cards. That player exiles it. If it was an instant or sorcery exiled this way, you may cast it for as long as you control this creature, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. Nelly.
Well, it's another one, unfortunately. I don't know, 2 and a black. It's not legendary, which I like on this card. I am a huge fan of Gaunties. But, bigger Ravenous Rats for the same kind of ability in any deck other than Kindred Goblins, like, that's not exciting enough for our format. So I have to evaluate it through the lens of, is this kicking someone out of your value Jund Goblins deck? And I'm not sure. Do you? Is there a place for it that you?
I'm willing to try it.
All right.
Exile's real annoying.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like you could just Goblins never really has that much of an issue with combo. It's unfortunately just kind of a race.
Yeah.
Right? But like this card's annoying. Like this card off Cavern of Souls against like Jeskai or whatever.
Right.
Right? Like I like the way this card plays more than like the Mud Button Curse Tosser or whatever. It's just it's an annoying card that speaks to grinding somebody out and can really catch somebody off guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Worth trying.
you want to experiment with it in your Jund Goblins deck or Rakdos Goblins?
They're really trying to get you to play Black and Goblins.
Yes. Well, they were in Lorwyn as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fair.
All right, and the final black card is the Twilight Diviner. 3 mana, 3/3 elf cleric for 2 and a black. When this creature enters, surveil 2. Whenever one or more other creatures you control enter, if they entered or were cast from a graveyard, create a token that's a copy of one of them. This ability only triggers once each turn.
Haha, lol, lamau. Yeah, I don't know. This card is kind of funny. It feels very Winmore to me, but it feels like the kind of Winmore that I'm okay with. I'd be interested in trying this out in Ruin Your Evening, in White-Black Ruin Your Evening, that is looking to, you'll play your Helping Hands, your Extraction Specialist, the Emperor Bones. Like, this ETB is not nothing. The fact that it's a single pip, not nothing. Or 3 Animator. The like Unearth, Helping Hand, Reanimate. Like typically it's Orzhov, just like the deck that's like, well, you killed my Ajani once, here it is. Or I milled my Abhorrent Oculus, here it is. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if those decks need to play this because like cheating out Abhorrent Oculus is its own reward.
I like this in Recurring Nightmare deck.
Yeah.
Because we have Recurring Nightmare, we have Chthonic Nightmare, and then we have Birthing Ritual.
Yeah.
And Birthing Ritual is just such a house right now if you get that mana value lower. And what that deck really wants is creatures that leave behind a body so that you can do like a little switcheroo back and forth. And the fact that this always gives you just one more body is so huge. Just so huge.
If you second mode Savine's Recollection, you flashback Savine's Reclamation, the two instances of the spells resolve at different times, right? Like it copies itself.
Yes.
So you can bring this back.
Part of it resolving creates a copy.
Yeah. So you could bring this back first.
Yes.
And then when the second comes in, you could get a token.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
I like this card.
It's neat. It feels to me like it's very careful, right?
Sure.
Like it seems like WotC gave us this card, and it's like this is a fun and exciting card with like a really high ceiling, and because of that, we want to make sure the floor was not too high, right?
You know what it kind of reminds me of, which is a card that I thought I would play all the time, but I've never done. It's from the what was the mob set, Capenna?
Yeah.
There was a 4 mana black rare called like Body Launderer.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh yeah, absolute slam dunk. I'm always gonna want. I don't think I've ever sleeved that card up.
It's 4 mana. It doesn't have flash.
I always look at it and I was like, this card's gonna be sick. And I worry that this might be the same sort of role. Like, oh yeah, this is obviously such a great like synergy piece in this graveyard attrition grindy sort of deck. And then I'll just be like, no, I should play. What's that idiot Golgari dragon that's like 9 mana that anytime you
Belladross Weatherbloom?
No. Colossal
Grave Maw or something
like
grave.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That card, if we can bring that up, James, that card is like whenever it enters play.
Whatever it's called, James. I don't know. Bring it up.
Yeah. Sorry, that's so
It's whenever you like mill a card.
Yeah, whenever a card goes, when this comes into play, mill a bunch of cards. Whenever a card gets milled into your graveyard, just put it into play.
Yeah.
You're like
ETB or attack, but yeah, I've died to enough of these cards that I've just dismissed during the set review that I'm willing to be like, there are ways to play with this.
Okay, that's fair.
And somebody at your store will play. Like
Right.
It's,
I like
like
that James
Delny,
is like, I'm not gonna,
right?
What's that?
Yes.
Delny?
Delny is a
Card
house.
where you look at this and you're like, commander card.
Yeah.
And then you just die to it and
Yeah.
you're like,
Right.
oh.
Yeah. You're like,
Yeah.
oh wait, you get to
Right.
exile 2 of my cards with your Palace Jailer?
It's
Sure.
just the more Canlander that I play in 2025 or 2026, it's just like I don't always have a removal spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every card needs to be killed.
Yeah. So we're giving this one the Delny Award for like, hey, watch out.
Sure.
Someone might find a really good use for this.
I
really
wanna
good
play
home.
this.
Is this the card you're talking about?
Yeah. Oh, Colossal Grave Reaver.
Oh, right.
Yeah, this card's
thing.
sick. 8 mana, 7/6 dragon flying. When it enters or attacks, mill 3. Whenever one or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from your library, put one of them onto the battlefield.
Yeah, I thought this card was Winmore until I reanimated it once, and then it reanimated my entire graveyard.
Yeah, this card's impossibly sick.
Yeah, it's
So,
Ritual
anyways,
of Khazad-dûm.
yeah, is
Right.
this Twilight Diviner? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to red. And I got bad news if you're a fan of red cards, because not a lot of them made
Man,
our
they,
particular
they
list.
just printed a bunch of terrible goblins and terrible elementals.
All right, the first one we want to talk about is Giant Fall. 2 mana instant for 1 and a red. Choose one. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls, or destroy an artifact.
Hey, Abrade fans. Wait, did you want an Abrade that doesn't always kill the creature? Sorry.
That was my thought when I looked at that, but Wheeler was excited about this.
Sure, you can kill bigger creatures.
I don't know. It's just like being able to blow up an artifact's very cool, and then being able to do another thing that is like in a Gruul Monsters deck, or like a Boros, even like
Naya,
a Boros deck or
maybe.
a Naya deck. Like, you know, if you need to kill a mana dork, it's probably just always killing a mana dork. And if you need to kill a bigger thing, then you can kill a bigger thing. You just need to get your creature into play. I'm not saying that this is like you should cut a braid for this card or any of the other versions, but anytime you see a modal spell that has like kill one thing and then potentially kill another thing, it's pretty interesting to look at.
Can we just appreciate how good the art and flavor of this card is, though?
Yes.
Bigfoot?
Fantastic.
Bump went the
Yeah.
giant, gone went the
The
Hamlet.
giant slips and falls down a mountain, and that's a problem for the entire ecosystem.
I can tell I'm getting old because I look at this giant falling and my first thought is I hope he's okay. That's a big fall.
I will say, like, something I've started doing just at the end of 2025, beginning of 2026, is like looking at how many cards in my deck can possibly gain life.
Yeah.
And like your Abrade possibly gaining life because you have a lifelink creature, nothing.
Or always killing something because you got a death.
Because you have a death touch creature? Sure, yeah,
that's kinda
exactly.
sick.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the Hexing Squelcher. This is a 2 mana 2/2 Goblin Sorcerer for 1 and a red. This spell can't be countered. It has ward, pay 2 life. Spells you control can't be countered, and other creatures you control have ward, pay 2 life. Wheeler.
Okay, so this is a good goblin. And
Yeah,
this
it
one's
is.
great. Not much to say. I guess you could say that like this card has. There are some comparisons you can make between this card and
The
Riot.
Shusher?
Riot Spider,
Oh,
Spider Punk.
Yeah, right.
Spider-Punk.
Spider-Man. Yeah,
I think that the Riot Spider-Man is just a better general card. But this one is a slam dunk in goblins. Yeah,
Sure.
Serge was mentioning Vexing Shusher, which terrible card that still saw so much play.
Well, it was really relevant, partly because of Josh Lane's Reign of Terror.
Yes,
you know,
Yeah, you're like, you got to get something to get around these control decks.
how does my mono red aggro deck beat Dismiss?
yeah,
Like it's
we were young.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vexing Shusher got played in Canadian Highlander for
way too long.
Eventually, everyone caught up. It's like, oh, this is a bad rate, and you just want to get your spell countered. It's great.
Yeah, it does feel like this card is just killing your opponent in one way or another, and that if it isn't, then they're wrathing you, and you were already having a bad time. And like, I think it's unreasonable to assume that this is going to cover every base, but it does a pretty good job.
Do you think this card is like strong enough that maybe you're putting it in Rakdos or just goblins? It's still only a 2/2
Because that's
for
what we're
2.
saying that Spider-Punk exists.
Sure,
right?
yeah. Spider-Punk
I don't know.
most
This
decks,
is I think that if you want a more aggressive version, you play the Spider Punk.
Sure.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
All right, next up, Impolite Entrance. This is a 1 mana sorcery for single red. Target creature gains trample and haste, and draw a card. Nelly.
Hell yeah, new red cantrip just dropped. I love all these, the ones that give all your creatures trample, or like the ones that give all your creatures first strike and draw a card. I have a lot of fun with this kind of cantrip, specifically in other formats. In Canadian Highlander, these are like both of the good abilities. So we don't have this exact set of words on one card, you know, like plus drawing a card. So your blue, red, green berserk decks,
Even just mono red, man.
even just mono red prowess, you know, you do want to put this card next to cards that care how many spells you've cast, whether it's prowess or the like permanent +1/+1 counters you get now.
I still desperately need to try and get a feather. I really want to make like red white feather at some point because there were a couple
play
of
Boros,
cards.
yeah.
Well, because
Flash for Berserk for me, please.
Bloomborough gave us access to another version of
Valiant.
That's what it is. Yeah,
Right,
Valiant and Heroic and Prowess. So, but I
Have
don't
you
think that's a
read
real deck yet.
Emberheart Challenger.
Yeah,
That card just
that's
has
what- that's
so
what I meant.
many words.
Emberheart the Mind Sculptor.
That
man.
card in
Yeah.
particular really wanted me to make this happen. I just don't own a feather. I should buy a feather.
I mean, I'm not to crush you on your journey. I don't think you need the feather to play
Sure.
that deck.
Yeah, you don't need
I
the
mean,
feather.
it's
That's-
cool when you got the
that's
feather to
valid,
play that
yeah.
deck.
It's a really pretty Magic card.
But like, I
he's
don't know
right.
how many games you're winning off of feather that you wouldn't just be winning off of Heartfire Hero
Sure,
and Embereth
sure.
Challenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, under appreciated archetype too.
Yep.
It's yeah.
Possibly, I don't know. I think about all the creatures in Magic, like giving your thing haste and trample, like maybe is good in other archetypes too. Possibly worth trying.
Just
Like,
replaces itself.
like if you target a Barrowgoyf with this, that's not okay.
Yeah, that's kind of sick.
Targeting like an Overlord or something.
Yeah,
you
Overlord
know?
of the Bailmerk, or like
Any on attacks triggers.
targeting Seasoned Dungeoneer.
They can't block it anyways.
Well, yeah, but it has haste.
it has haste.
And you draw another card. I don't know. Yeah.
All right, the last card we're going to talk about today is Seer. 2 mana instant for 1 and a red. 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker.
Finally, the cowards got brave and printed this card. We had it at sorcery speed already, right?
Yeah, we had it at sorcery speed
Yeah.
with additional text too. Like,
Yep.
Oh, was that
you know,
exile or
Planeswalker.
something?
yeah, there are ones that
Something?
exile,
Yeah.
but like, who cares, man? Instant speed.
Yeah.
It's so funny
This
how
is the
much
good
this
version.
changes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know if you're targeting planeswalkers that often with this card. Probably not. Occasionally you'll hit like a. You'll play this against Chris Sutherland, who tapped out for Teferi 5 or whatever. But like, you're not killing planeswalkers the same rate that you were 5 years ago.
Imagine planeswalkers having 4 less loyalty.
Instant speed deal 4 damage.
This kills
to 2.
Minsk and Boo, or kills Minsk, right?
Yeah.
Minsk or Boo.
Hold on.
In response to the trigger. In response to the
Yes,
trigger.
yeah, you can kill in response to the trigger.
Yeah, because the hamster goes on the stack before they can uptick.
Right. So they still get a 1/1. Right. You get to cast an instant before Minsk gets to activate.
Yeah.
One of the
Minsk's
one drawback.
One of the few planeswalkers that you can get them for that before you get priority before they get to uptick.
I was just double checking to see if we had received a version of this at some point in time, like a way to maybe deal 4 at instant that only hit creatures or whatever that hit planeswalkers for this thing and a creature for this thing, and like, no, this is just the cleanest version.
Sick.
At instant. It's just such a. You're not going to see it in every single red deck, but it's like.
This is
a new staple.
This is a good card.
big deal.
Watch out. Yeah, it's 2 mana. That's the only
Yeah.
thing it has going against it.
Yeah.
Like,
4
everything
damage.
else is great about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I wonder if now they'll give us Flame Slash for Planeswalkers too. That would be the other potential upgrade.
Any wizard staff? We've
Right.
been good. We'll be good all 2026 if you give us this.
I
right?
won't be,
Yeah.
but
Okay, that's
Serge
fair.
will. But yeah,
well, killing planeswalkers is an act of kindness.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, this card's going to see a lot of play.
So this is part 1 of our set review. I hope you've been enjoying our take on Lorwyn Eclipsed. It's good to be back. Set is a banger so far. I've been Serge. I've been joined by the wonderful Nelly.
Hey, I was here.
Thank you to Wheeler.
What the hell, man?
The wonderful Nelly.
The wonderful
And
Nelly.
Wheeler.
Thank you, Wheeler.
Well, let's talk
I
about
deserve, no, I deserve
your
it.
contribution this whole set review is like, hey, remember that time I killed both of you with this card?
Yeah, that's
Hey, remember
my
this other
shtick?
time you were bad and I killed you with
That's
this
my
card?
shtick on the show. What, you want me to be like, hey, this card's great and I'm having a great time with it.
Thank you to the handsome and charming and intelligent James on tech.
You're welcome.
A reminder that everything we do is brought to you by you, the support of the Patreon over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Couldn't do it without you. Show is also sponsored by Card Kingdom. You have any Lorwyn singles you want to pick up? cardkingdom.com/LRR. Lets them know that we sent you. Ask for a button. It will be cool or good or funny. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for part 2 of our set review, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.